Really is the charm. After running for president in 1988,
change the attitudes of Americans about what their responsibilities are to the poor.
2008,
you've heard this trite phrase, Democrats and Republicans. Hell, some of you guys are still stupid enough to be Republicans. It is a joke. It is not a gaffe.
And 2020. In January, he will be sworn in as the most powerful man in the world. But what's that 4 years going to look like? The first 100 days of a presidency have been an important benchmark since FDR. And modern candidates say what they're going to do in their first 100 days to show what their priorities are, what they think and want to really get done. And Joe Biden has made a lot of promises.
The first 100 days of my administration, the first thing I would do as president, I would immediately, in the first 100 days.
So what are those things President Joe Biden thinks he can tick off in 4 months?
Hi, Natasha. Good to see you.
Hi, Eugene. Thanks for having me.
Are you kidding? Of course. I don't think I've ever done this. We did this in Iowa. That's right. We did this.
I was just
in the before times. In the before times.
Natasha Korecki has been covering Biden since the very beginning. He lives in her head rent-free, so who better to explain those priorities? First things first, Biden is dealing with a pandemic that has killed more than 220,000 Americans, a recession caused by that pandemic with millions still out of work, and racial strife the country hasn't seen since the 60s.
I would expect right away off the bat, we're going to go right into COVID, and he's going to be talking about those things. Mask mandate being front and center. The other things he's talked about is expanding testing sites in every state and expanding access to testing to anyone, they say to anyone who needs it, and make sure that it's free for those who can't pay for it. So as you recall, in 2008, when Obama won the presidency, Obama looked at Biden and said, you know what, you're going to be in charge of this huge recession and mess. Luckily for Biden, he's been through this before.
Outside of those really humongous things, Joe Biden has also promised to prioritize healthcare, climate change, and pass immigration reform.
He's always said that climate change, that he was going to do something right away, actually on his first day, that he was going to sign executive orders. He has kind of stuck with this promising to achieve 100% clean energy economy and reaching net zero emissions no later than 2050. He's going to try to recommit to the Paris Climate Accord. Healthcare, of course, was such a huge issue. He refused to go as far left as Medicare for All, but he has pushed this public option. He's called it Biden Care. So I think we are going to see him at least propose something and then see how far it gets.
Another aspect of the first 100 days is erasing the things the previous administration did through executive orders or maybe even legislation. Luckily for Biden, most of what President Trump has been able to do hasn't gone through the legislative process.
Trump made immigration and took a very hard line on immigration. He made that central to especially the beginning of his tenure. Biden's going to go after all of those things really hard and try to overturn everything he can. Biden wants a return to normalcy, and he believes that Trump really did a dishonor to places like the Department of Justice and to the intelligence community. So I think he's going to attempt to do a lot of repair work in that area to just sort of build back credibility among the American people.
But there's one thing that's key here, the Senate. FDR was able to get so much done in that first 100 days because Congress was basically just rubber stamping things along the way. It's not clear who's going to hold the Senate yet, but what happens if Mitch McConnell is still in charge?
I think you can expect it to be less acrimonious. And I say that because Biden is such a creature of the Senate. We might see some areas of cooperation and coordination that maybe we weren't seeing in the past. On the other hand, I do think that there's going to be this strife on the left, and everyone kind of like jockeying that if it's something that Biden is trying to give to the left, I don't think McConnell's going to come over on a lot of those things.
But what happens if he's not able to get these things done.
He has really branded himself as the great, I'm moderate. I'm going to come to the middle. I'm a president to everyone. How many times have we heard that? So he really needs to get some of this stuff done and find ways to finesse it. He also has to run this risk of not appearing as a lame duck immediately, even though he's not firmly announced that he's only going to run for one term. But if he's not able to get his first 100-day agenda done, then, he's not going to have a lot of strength in the presidency.
Oh, all righty. Okay, just wanted to share that with you. There's a lot of talk going on in regards to Biden's first 100 days. People keep making excuses for what we told you was actually going to happen. And, you can believe what you want. When somebody shows you who they are, you should believe them because they're telling you who they are. In the first 100 days, if you guys saw that video, whatever, there's nothing specifically for Black people. Once again, you're at the front of the line and they're saying, oh God, Black people, you got to vote. You got to save the country. You got to do this. This is the most pivotal election of your life. Then we do that. Then we get shit on and we get pushed to the back of the line. Notice that was a Hispanic woman talking there and talking about what he's going to do for DACA and all that other good stuff. So once again, and a lot of bootlick Negroes. And let me show you what I think of those Negroes real quick. I just want to share this with you guys. This is what I think of those Negroes that keep making excuses. Stephen, that's how I feel about them, because do not tell me to be patient and all that. We're running out of time. There is no more time to be patient. 60 years from the civil rights movement, that was enough time. Don't tell me to be any more patient. If we don't call these things out, you Negroes will keep forgetting and make excuses. Okay? This is where we're at today. We are less than 12 years away from being a slave, and it's even less than that thanks to the pandemic. And you talk about be patient. No, we got into the White House, and he doesn't even have the common decency to put us in the first 100 days. I don't think so. Hey, I'm heading to the war zone real quick. You guys check us out. Again, there we are right there. And I also want to talk about Love in the Zone. It launched last night. It's going to be on Mondays and Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Hey, you guys tune into that. That's going to be an excellent, excellent show. I saw it last night with Paradise the Model. Excellent show. So check me out over there. If you guys want to join me, I'll be in the war zone in about 5 minutes. See you guys then.